everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Baruch Hashem. So beautiful to see the Olam. Okay, let's continue. We are in the middle of the Sugya of Boneh. If the Olam remembers, we're bang smack in the middle of the Sugya of Boneh. We only did one share, and we started with an introduction. I want to get to some halacha l'maisa today. I want to get to some practical cases. There's a tremendous amount of practical examples that are negaya l'maisa. Trying to give you as much of the background as I can, because it's important, because Boneh, as I mentioned, I think we did this on Sunday when I mentioned the Akdama, Boneh is a malacha that number one is very, very halacha l'maisa. Number two, people think it's not negaya because I don't build. And number three, if any of you even tried to learn Siman Shin Yud Gimel, Siman Shin Yud Daled, you would find it quite hard. Because to learn halacha l'maisa from the Shulchan Aruch, it's very unlike Boireh, for example. You learn Boireh, Boireh has not changed. Everything's Boireh. Everything's Boireh the way it was, and the conditions are the conditions. We've done it here before. When it comes to Boneh, everything's changed, and there are so many practical examples that are not mufurish in Shulchan Aruch that we're going to try to get to. So let's see what we can do. The first thing we have to discuss is like this. There's a Gemara, beautiful Gemara in Shabbos Ayin Dalet. The Gemara in Shabbos Ayin Dalet tells us what happens if a person has a clump of earth that is on the ground and it's disturbing him, it's bothering him being there. He picks up the clump of dirt and he moves it away. Or there's a clump of earth and he puts it in a place where there's a little bit of a hole, a little bit of a mini valley going on over there in the middle of the football field, and he fills it up in that way. The Gemara tells us that a person that does that has a chiyuv of Boneh. That a person that does that takes a clump of earth and he moves it, shayla b'mischaven, einu mischaven. We're not going to go into now all the different names, but the general idea is that when a person takes a clump of earth and he moves it, or a person would take a clump of earth and fill up a hole, would be chayev mishum Boneh in that case. So what does that mean, l'maisa? It means, l'maisa, that digging a hole on Shabbos in earth, in the floor, is going to be an issa d'oraisa Boneh. Digging a hole. So you'll tell me nobody digs a hole. We don't go around on Shabbos with spades digging holes. However, the following could be negaya. If, for example, you have a garden outside, and you have earth, and you have a goalpost, or something similar to that, and you insert it into the ground. You have like these posts, or for example, you want to play tennis, or anything like that that has a net, and the net comes with a stick, and you stick the stick into the ground, and then the other one on the other side, and not a problem. Or for those of you out there that even know what cricket is, and you have... There's no way you played that in school. You did? Really? Shlomo also? Really? Wow. It's called a wicket, right? That's the three things with the thing on the top, right? No, but you stick those in the ground, right? That would be an issa. That's an issa mishum Boneh, Rabbi say. Shayla an issa d'oraisa mishum Boneh. Another shayla that the poskim talk about, another shayla the poskim talk about is a woman walking with high heels, where the high heels dig into the ground every time she walks. On those, is that a problem? Or for example, if you've got those football shoes, there's a name for them. They have cleats. Thank you. No, the studs is not the name of the shoe. The studs is? Yeah, I'm right. Cleats are the one with the sticks. Each one, yeah, okay. So is that an issa, Rabbi Sai? Is that an issa to walk on the ground on Shabbos with such a thing? Because be'etzim, what you're doing is you're creating holes in the ground, which is be'etzim a shayla of Boneh. So the poskim say that would not be a problem to do that on Shabbos Kodesh. Let's move on. Okay? So that is the gabi, the ground, even if there's grass there. Putting out the grass, of course, there's going to be a problem. That's another problem. That's Boneh, and there's also, right, that's something else. Koitza. Huh? With regular shoes, that's fine. Einu mischaven, that's fine. Let's move on. Rabbi say, let's move on. Let's move on. So like this, there's a Mordechai Gemara in Ksubah Stav Samach. The Gemara tells us what happens if you have a pipe, and this pipe has a blockage. Am I allowed to unblock the pipe on Shabbos Kodesh? That is the Kasha Yisrael. Am I allowed to unblock the pipe? The Gemara tells us clearly that it's an Issa Gomu, it's an Issa, according to most, an Issa D'oraisa. for a person to unblock the pipe on Shabbos Kodesh. So now here's the shaila. Person has a sink, person has a toilet, and it gets blocked on Shabbos Kodesh. Is he allowed to unblock the pipe on Shabbos Kodesh, or is it a problem or not? There's a major machloikes in the poskim. One second. There's a major machloikes in the poskim whether a person is or is not allowed to unblock a pipe on Shabbos, or is it included when the Gemara says in Ksubas Daf Samach, included in the Issa D'Oraisa. Most Gedolei Olam bring down that it's an Issa, Kafi many it's an Issa D'Oraisa. Chacham ben Tzin Abba Shaul, Reb Moshe, Rav Elyashiv, Shmir Shabbos, Mishnah Alochas, Chacham Ovadia and Yabia Oime, and others as well, that hold us an Issa D'Oraisa. Now, Reb Shlomo Zalman comes up with a moedige svara. Listen to this svara. Reb Shlomo Zalman comes up with a svara like this. He says like this. This is his lomdus. This is his svara. It's important to remember the svara. Shimon. It's important to remember the svara. Right? It's important to remember the svara. The svara goes like this. Says Reb Shlomo Zalman, if a person has a cup and that cup gets crumbs in it, and in order to drink from that cup, I need to clean out the cup from the crumbs, so Reb Shlomo Zalman, there's no issa to do that. I can't use it for a drink because there's crumbs in there. I need to wash it out. No, I didn't fix anything. It was a beautiful cup. It was a great cup. Happens to be, it had some crumbs in it that I wash out. So Reb Shlomo Zalman, when you have a pipe that's blocked, it's a beautiful pipe. It's a wonderful pipe. It happens to be that it's blocked. Mimela, when you unblock it, is not a problem. Oh, Boneh, for Zevi in the back, hold on a minute. What does Reb Shlomo Zalman do with the Gemara in Ksubas? That's a kasha. How can Reb Shlomo Zalman say, Azaz Svara, when we have a Gemara telling us not that way? So Reb Shlomo Zalman like this. Shmuel, just a second. Reb Shlomo Zalman says a beautiful pshat in the Gemara. Reb Shlomo Zalman says that when the Gemara says that you have a pipe that became blocked, it did not become blocked with items. It started to grow moss, started to grow like a type of grass in there. And therefore it became, as like sometimes things get wet, they get moldy, it grows certain things, and eventually that grew and that grew and that grew to the extent that it was impossible to use, and therefore it was blocked. Says Reb Shlomo Zalman, that is something that if you unblock will be Issa. But if you have a simple blockage, then there's no problem. Okay? So one second. Koitza could be another problem in a chanami. If it's turning in a karaka, depending on how it works, exactly like mushrooms, that's the sugya. Rabbi Say, Rafal Zatzal told me that there's a very big chilek between a sink and a toilet. What's the difference between the sink and the toilet? Listen to this, Rabbi Say. Listen to this svara. Listen to the svara, Rabbi Say. Rafal Zatzal told me like this. When it comes to a sink, the pshat is azoi. When it gets blocked, it doesn't generally, obviously it can happen, but generally it doesn't get blocked with one item, with one maisa. What happens is the sink, the pipes over there, generally, sort of build up the dirt, build up things over there, and it's the makab patish, the last blockage, the last piece is what finishes up. Therefore, when you unblock that, what you are doing essentially is you're unblocking it from things that were there for a long time, that would have stayed there for a long time. And that's why, Rafal Zatzal, a sink would be mamish, according to Rafal, and others, would be an Issa Gomel. Whereas a toilet in many times simply becomes blocked. We'll talk about the Beis Medrash. It becomes blocked from a lot of tissues or something like that. Mimela, it's a one-time thing. So if it's a one-time thing, so therefore you can be more maker when unplugging a toilet, or if it becomes blocked. Now all the poskim are maskim, even Reb Shlomo Zalman, who's Be'etza Mekel, will tell you should only be soymech on it b'shas adchak. Really, you shouldn't unblock anything. And for sure not to use one of those snake things. For sure don't unblock anything on Shabbos Kodesh. The snake is those flexible little metal things you put inside the sink and unblocks it. Reb Shlomo Zalman, who's Mekel, said you should only be soymech on that b'shas adchak, but in most cases you should not be soymech on it, and you should ask a goy. If you're stuck b'shas adchak, like Dubi said, covered up briyas, then there's a makom to be Mekel in that case, to use the liquid unblocker, they have these liquids that you pour down and that sort of unblocks it as well, would be included in this. That again should not be done unless it is a Shas Hadchak in that case. So I have many more cases for us to go on to. For Ezra Hashem tomorrow, we'll talk about the sugya of fixing things that are attached to the binyan. Have a wonderful day.